Hi, I'm Louise, one of the nutrition team at Connolly's Red Mills, and I'm joined today by Kirsty McCann, who is technical advisor at Foran Equine. Kirsty, welcome, and thank you very much for joining me.
No problem. Thanks, Louise.
Kirsty, at this time of year, on a lot of thoroughbred studs, the kind of attention turns to sales prep. So getting those youngsters ready for sale. So I wanted to have a little bit of a chat with you about that. Um, Supplements and diet obviously is really critical to getting these horses to look their very best when they get to the ring, and hopefully therefore make the maximum value. Um, are there some supplements that you would recommend across the board in terms of prep? And then perhaps we could talk about individual supplements that might help with certain conditions. But are there things that you think should be in all horses' diets if they're being prepped for sale?
Yeah, absolutely. Something as simple as an oil. So Kentucky Karen oil is my go-to, no matter whether it's a sales prep or a show horse or a race horse. The bare minimum that should be there. We have our toolkit of sales prep products, if you like, that we go to, and they would include Coppervit being a big important part of a lot of consigners prep up to the sales. Our
And why
calf.
would they use the Coppervit?
So the Coppervit is very much, it was a product that was designed with sales in mind. So it contains chelated copper, manganese, biotin, vitamin B12, and vitamin E. So it's taking a look at what rigors those horses are going through when they're being prepped. So muscle health and your vitamin E, the fact that they're walking a lot and they mightn't have their shoes on yet, so biotin for their feet, your copper and your manganese to help look after your skeletal development. They're probably going through a growth phase as well at the same time. So protecting those joints from, kind of any extra insults through that growing period. So supporting that. And then as well as just kind of being that one-stop shop, if you like, if you're going to need one product that's going to help and have multi-factors to helping during that period of sales prep, Coppervit is definitely the one that I would recommend.
Okay, so Coppervit and the Kentucky Karen oil are sort of a given. They should be in all horses' diets. You mentioned
Absolutely.
there about bone health and skeletal health. Obviously, horses in prep, they're doing more exercise. They may be going through growth spurts. So bone health is a real concern. Is there anything else that you can do to nutritionally support skeletal health during prep?
Yeah, we can talk about inclusions like with things like osteoglycan, where we'd have vitamin D3 as well going in into the diet to help just maintain good bone growth and development, and making sure that all the minerals are there in the correct ratio to look after the production of good, healthy, strong bone, and making sure that we don't run into problems like epiphysitis and things like that, where we've got that inflammation on the growth plates. So we would be very, very kind of forward with making sure that we are supporting that skeletal system of the horse during that period.
Yeah, absolutely. Um, and then in terms of, I'm just trying to think of the other kind of questions or queries that you get asked about. I suppose one of the other things that can be impacted in during sales prep is digestive health. The horse has
Absolutely.
gone from maybe a very forage-based diet to now being receiving more hard feed and working a little bit more. So, is there anything there that we can do to help support their digestive health? Um,
Yeah, and I'd also say digestive health and stress go hand in hand, especially with these, especially your yearlings. So supporting their digestive health, even making sure that they've enough forage going into their diet, during that period is really important. And knowing how much of an effect stress can have on digestive health and, the onset of ulcers and things like that. So having a digestive conditioning product, if you like, in the diet, be that through your feed or through a separate supplement, to just help support the digestive system and kind of be that one step ahead of any problems is a great idea. I mentioned stress there, and it's almost kind of something that the thoroughbred industry is starting to embrace a little bit more, is the use of cameras. And it's not anything to do with kind of dampening down their performance or anything like that. It's more about giving them the tools that they need to help to deal with that stress. So we would have a lot of people would start to incorporate a camera into their sales horses' diet, 2 to 3 weeks before they go to the sales, so that they just cope with moving into the sales complex and the changes that will be around them a little bit easier. They are only,
and there's so much going on, and it's so new for them that I think anything you can do to just help bring that stress level down is going to make the horse hopefully show itself as well. It's not going to be messing around on the end of the lead rope, and it is going to walk and show itself to potential buyers. As best at
the end of the day, it's a whole package. The page will get you so far, the pedigree will get you so far, and the horse then has to get you the rest of the way. So if you've got a colt that's just jig jogging on the end of a lead and won't actually walk and show himself, it's not doing him or the consignor any good, really.
Yeah, absolutely. And time is tight for a lot of these agents and trainers. They've got a lot of horses to see, so you want the horses to show themselves as well as they can without any
and with the time frame being very tight for sales, we often get queries about how can I put more condition on quickly as well. So that's something that I'm always very cautious about. You don't want to overfeed and you don't want to overbulk them. So we do have extra tools in our kit with the likes of Muscle Prep, which is a hydrolyzed protein liquid. So it's a pre-digested protein. So it's broken down instead of being long chain. It's broken down into its amino acid form. So it's a great aid to give that top line condition in a nice, effective way, and can be used for a short period. And then to maintain it, we would recommend using Muscle Max, which is a B vitamin, vitamin E, selenium and lysine. Really palatable. The one thing that I'm so proud that we do really well is we make tasty supplements. And we use palatants like vanilla and blackcurrant and aniseed and apple, and we make sure that the horses do eat them. So it is, and it's great because one of the things that when these yearlings get stressed when they go to the complex, they generally back off their feed a bit, and that's the last thing you want. And you want to make sure they stay eating for that 3 or 4 days that they're going to be there and get shown and go through the ring. So having something like Muscle Max there, even for the purpose of making sure that they are eating because they like the taste of it, is really helpful. The other thing I would always make sure is that the consigners start using electrolytes before they leave. So that they're used to the taste of it, so they don't get there and all of a sudden they're being put on electrolytes and this is a new taste to them. But also that they are hydrated and they're going to remain hydrated. Some of these sales happen in very, very confined spaces. We get good weather in Newmarket or good weather in Tats or Goffs, and it is hot. So making sure you're looking after the hydration needs of these sales horses is really important, because it stops them from getting that tucked up appearance, so they'll show their best.
Yeah, no, that's really good advice. And what about things like respiratory health? Because obviously I know that is a concern during prep. You're bringing horses into stables, they're getting more conserved forage, which might be a little bit more dusty and can affect the respiratory system. Is there anything we can do to sort of nutritionally support that respiratory system?
Yeah, and you're going to get to a sales complex and you're not going to know what bedding's going to be like. So generally people go in, shake up the straw bed, and it will be incredibly dusty, and that will be an insult on their respiratory system straight away. We would have 2 products. So we have a product called Honey C, which is honey and vitamin C and some herbal promoters like licorice and horehound, and they're very, very good to help maintain and soothe an airway. And then we have another product called Air Vent, which opens up the airway, if you like. It's a bit like the Vicks effect. I tell people, if you sniff Vicks or take an Airways or something like that, it opens it up. And it's not doing anything. It's not going to change whether you've got a horse with good wind or a horse with bad wind. It's not going to do that. What it's just going to do is it's just going to help them, to support them when they're in a different environment and different environmental factors. So so there would be the 2 products that we'd have that you'd be able to use while you're at the sales and before the sales.
That's fantastic, fantastic. So, you know, from what I've taken from this, you've got your kind of base supplements, so your oil and your copper max that, you know, all horses would get. And then it's about tailoring the supplements to the horse's needs. So a weak individual, as you say, might need something like the muscle max, or if you're concerned about respiratory conditions, then that sort of route. So obviously, where can people find out more advice, because it is going to be so tailored towards the individual? Is where can people get sort of individual advice for their horses?
Yeah, so we have a great team of people on the ground in both Ireland and the UK, and you know, even further afield in France, you know, we've got a team there as well. So by what I'd say is reach out to us either through our websites, foran.com and foran.co.uk, or contact us through the office, and we'll be absolutely delighted to come on and talk to you and, you know, see where we can help. I'm now talking to my consigners that I look after about their yearlings.
Yeah.
So as you know, Louise, the stud season, it never really ends. They finish foaling and it's on to the next thing, and it's on to the sale. So it's already there. And the one thing that I always say, the sooner we start and the sooner we get a plan in place, the less chance we're going to be playing catch up, and the less chance we're going to be pushing, and the less chance we're going to get problems. So the earlier, foresight is everything in this, and the earlier you start looking at what you're going to do and when your sales are. The sales companies are currently going around now and they're looking at the stock. So, you know, you want your stock getting into the best drafts that you can. You want to be getting into the days that you want at Goffs or new, you know, at Tattersall's and Newmarket. So just, you know, being kind of always ready with them, ready to start to move them on to the next stage and to get them to the sales in the best possible conditions so that they can, you know, get you the best return is really, really important.
Yeah, look, that's brilliant advice. You know, plan early, and then obviously stay in contact with your nutritionist, and you can tweak things as you go along, or as you need to, based on the individual.
Yeah.
So that's great.
And one thing that we're more than happy to do is work alongside, you know, your vet if there's any issues, or along with your farrier. We'd often do, you know, days where we'd meet farriers at yards and we'd watch yearlings walking and things like that. And, you know, we'd work as a team. And that's the big thing about sales prep, is it is a team, and everybody around it is really important in their own way to making sure that that individual, there's nothing we enjoy more than, you know, looking at those sales results and seeing how our clients and customers are doing.
Yeah, no, that's great. And as you say, it is a team effort, and it is really important that, you know, nutrition forms a part of that. So thank you very much, Kirsty. And hopefully we look forward to speaking to you again soon. But yeah, thank you very much.
No problem. Thank you.